So I thought I'd take the time to talk about sympathetic resonance. It's a sort of it's the idea that everything in the universe has its frequency. So all particles, all waves have a way that they work. They have a wavelength. So waves in the universe have wavelengths. So, and thus, if they have a wavelength, they have a frequency. I heard the story once about this chicken farm, and what happened was an industrial manufacturing plant was put in right next to the chicken farm, and suddenly, within weeks or months, the all the chickens died. The the A scientific study was done later, and it was proven that the the machines in the manufacturing plant were emanating a frequency of about 4 kilowatts, or about uh, anyways. So it turned out that the chicken's brain cavity was the same size as 4 hertz, and so afterwards the machine factory obviously realized that they had killed all of these chickens, and there's also this other idea that, you know, when you throw a rock into water, it sends ripples, and those ripples are the wavelengths. Um, Certain atoms have a frequency that they vibrate at, and that frequency is actually can be the same as the frequency of another waveform. So you can have two waveforms coming at each other and at the same frequency, and they'll either bounce at each other or they'll reflect. And it's all about the idea of how um, the the spacing of the universe has to do with that frequency of modulation. So a lot of the so the frequency has to do with how the waveform interacts with the real world. So if you have the brain cavity of a chicken and a waveform, if the size of that waveform is the same size of the chicken's skull, you can get a frequency, a frequency bouncing around, and it gets stuck, and it goes through a certain area and just bounces around inside of that brain, and then knocks electrons all over and causes all sorts of problems. You can also do this with viruses and bacteria. And a while back, I heard tell of a story of a man who invented this machine that could actually, by targeting the wave frequency of certain bacteria and stuff, could make them explode, or could even see them in the nano scale. So his name was Royal Rife, or Richard Rife, or something, and he designed an instrument that could both see small creatures and also target and destroy them. And so he came up with this a list of the frequencies at which organisms explode or rupture. Using the same idea of sympathetic resonance, you can get waveforms that are slightly larger or slightly smaller that will reflect a certain impedance rate. And so you can send signals through in a waveform, and then have them reflect back, and then you can tell what that waveform signature's reflection means. So the waveform of a particle, when it's reflected back, is modulated by the distance of those two particles from each other, and by the waveform patterning that object will create in the geographical the geographical universe that it exists. So when a waveform hits something, it's going to hit it only if it's the size of the waveform. So this idea can be used to measure all the particles in a certain area, or it could also be used to actually see the air, because we could send out a wave signal, not unlike bats, and use perhaps sonar, or we could even use electromagnetism to study the waveform patterning, or microwave reflection, or radar, to study the waveform scattering effects, not the return effects, but the scattering effects, by sending out a countervailing wave pattern from a structure originating behind what we're trying to measure. So it would be a triangulation of particles from waveform scattering. And those are my ideas.